I was a slave, yet every night I had to take Luna's place and sleep with the Alpha. On the bed, I begged him to mark me and make me one of his mates.
Please, make me your wife.
What are you thinking? You're nothing but a slave.
I close my eyes. Every wolf in the pack knows Kalen doesn't just love Lady Vivian, he worships her. So the next morning, I walked straight to the pack matriarch and kneeled before her. I volunteered to marry her eldest son, Kalen's dying brother. Firstly shocked, then the pack matriarch's eyes filled with tears.
After the ghost marriage is done, you'll have to keep Widowsville for your mate forever. My good child, have you truly thought this through?
I will have no regrets.
Alpha Kalen and Lady Vivian had gone deathly pale. On the full moon night, Kalen came to Vivian's room again. I watched them through the crack in the door, his voice low and honeyed, her laugh like silver. Vivian left to wash up, cheeks ruined with wanting. Before she went, she killed every candle, as always. An hour later, I stepped into the dark. His scent hit me first, and my traitorous body answered, heart slamming, skin tight.
Why are you so cold?
I was outside, watching the snow.
Truth is, I'd been shivering at the threshold in a thin slip for an hour, waiting for her signal like a good little ghost.
You smelled
A pause. My heart stopped. The tincture.
so nice.
His mouth found mine in the dark. His hardness reached my soul. Before dawn, I knelt at Vivian's feet and recited him, every whisper, every mark blooming purple on my throat. Her expression curdled. Then she walked back into his arms. Kalen caught her hair around one lazy finger.
Been sneaking out to find yourself another wolf?
She swatted him, pouting prettily, as if she were the one. Vivian was beautiful, and chronically, devastatingly fragile. Kalen saw her at the spring hunt gathering. He fell instantly. Offered her the first mate rank before the night was over. Perfect together. Everyone said so. As her bonded handmaid, I was genuinely happy for them. Until their bonding night. 3 nights in a row. No completed bond. No mating mark. Overnight, Vivian became the pack's favorite joke. Desperate, Vivian invented the switch. Every night, candles out, handmade substitutes, masking tinctures rubbed into my skin until I smelled like her ghost. Of all her handmaids, only I was a viable double. Vivian and I were built from the same blueprint. The same narrow waist, the same pale slope of shoulder and throat. Side by side in daylight, the resemblance was unsettling. In total darkness, with the masking tinctures working through my skin, his wolf couldn't tell the difference. What Vivian hadn't accounted for, I was not fragile. She broke under Kalen's hands. I did not. What she couldn't endure, I simply survived. Body learning the architecture of his need, learning to anticipate it.
Relax. Only 3 years. My body will recover. Then I will give you enough gold to live well outside the mansion. Think about it.
My whole family's safety rested in her hands. I had no choice. 1 hour later, Vivian and Kalen finally rose. I returned to my quarters briefly, then went in to lay out the morning meal.
Why are you dressed like that?
I didn't know how to answer. I pressed my lips together. Kalen bit. Hard.
Darling, you've forgotten Selena is mute.
I nodded quickly. Serving Vivian meant constant proximity to Kalen, and she was terrified of exposure, so she declared me mute. The entire pack believed it.
Your little mute is striking. Sad, almost, how pretty she is.
And what exactly does my alpha mean by that? Has she caught your eye?
I haven't blamed you for anything yet, and you're already turning on me.
Kalen had pushed too far last night. I'd wept myself hoarse, then bitten him, hard. He'd walked through silver and hellfire to earn his title, scars mapping him from throat to hip. He wouldn't care about a few teeth marks. This whole performance was foreplay. I don't know how much time passed.
You insolent thing! You dared bite him? Are you challenging me?
I had no time to defend myself. Vivian had me bound, dragged to the supply outbuilding. No food, no water. Kalen had left for the border territories. However long he was gone, I stayed locked up. I was barely breathing when my sister found a way through. Briar had bribed the guard, slipped a bowl of broth under the door. She was my younger sister.
Sister, What did you do to make the lady so angry?
Briar, when will Kaelin be back?
The guards say tonight, and he's going straight to the lady's room.
What else was happening in the mansion?
The alpha-haired, his wolf spirit is fading again. The pack healers say there's nothing left to do. They're preparing the rates.
Lucian, the elder brother, cursed since birth, fading, never anchored to this world.
He's never taken a mate. The matriarch doesn't want him to cross alone. She's looking for someone willing to complete a spirit bond. A spirit bond with a dying alpha heir meant grieving him forever. No high-ranking female would consent. Not even the lower-ranked handmaids.
At dusk, they released me. I'd be needed that night.
Selena, I was impulsive. I meant to release you hours ago, but things got away from me. Don't hold it against me.
Of course not, my lady. My lady. It has been 3 years. When will I leave the pack mansion?
You want to leave?
Yes.
My body hasn't healed. Kaelin still needs you. If you insist on leave, I'll simply use Briar instead. Your sisters. The voice, the build. Close enough. How old is she? 13 or 14?
Then, could Kaelin at least give me a rank? Reaching for status now? If I wanted Kaelin to take a new mate, I have 100 candidates. You would never make that list. Don't bother trying to go through Kaelin directly. You're a convenience to him. Even if you ended up in his quarters permanently, I could have you removed with a single word. But every unmated female is supposed to be matched eventually.
Eventually, was I supposed to be her substitute? In bed? For the rest of my life?
The gatekeeper's son is your age. When you turn 16 next year, I'll arrange the match.
The gatekeeper's son. A man with a child's mind. And fists like hammers. Hitting because it was the only thing he knew. Only by being bound to someone that broken would I remain useful. And too far gone to threaten her. Kaelin returned, to find me kneeling.
You're home! You must be exhausted. This girl broke the crystal chalice from the Western Alliance. I've had her kneeling.
Kaelin stepped over me, without a glance.
What's the status on my brother?
I've asked every unmated female in the pack. The spirit bond sounds like a curse to them. None of the young wolves will agree.
What's there to agree about? Find a female, threaten someone she loves, and it's done.
That kind of coercion would be hard to hide from your mother.
Enough gold and fear will find a willing body. And if you handle this well, my mother might finally look at you differently.
And
Every time Kaelin came back from the border, he spent the whole night making up for lost time. He was an alpha who'd spent weeks at war. He came home hungry, and he made that hunger my problem. That night, I gave him everything. Pushed past my own limits to match
Why
him.
so eager tonight? Did you miss me?
I rarely initiated. He noticed.
Good girl.
Near dawn, I came back to myself in pieces.
Trying to run again? My wolf has always been scent sensitive. I've known about your lady's little switch since the beginning.
No wonder. He grew bolder every time, which meant he never held back. It was all for me.
Then why won't you give me a rank?
A rank? She's the one who brought you here. I'm not going to be the one to claim her handmaid. That would fracture our bond.
She was right. A she-wolf, taken for free. Why give her a title? What grows in the dark stays small.
Speechless with joy?
Thank you for your generosities, Alpha. I'm afraid I don't have the kind of luck to deserve it.
You've shared my bed for years. Don't get ideas above your station.
He didn't like greedy she-wolves. He had others, bonded females, all with bloodlines, gifts from allied packs. And yet, since Vivian came, he never touched them. The pack praised him for devotion, and he wore that praise like armor. A handmaid, born to serve, was never meant to stand beside him. The colder I became,
I was born low. I don't deserve a rank, and I don't belong in your quarters. I only hope you and the lady are devoted to each other until the end.
the next morning, Briar heard of Vivian's plan to marry me off to the gatekeeper's son.
We served her faithfully. How can she be this cruel?
That brute would be a slow death. The thought lingered, then twisted into something darker. If I couldn't escape fate, I would choose it.
I will take the spirit bond with Lucian.
The matriarch stared, then broke into astonished relief. She asked my name, my birth date, my bloodline. The pack shaman consulted the moon charts and looked up, nodding.
This female's spirit signature aligns with the heirs in a way I have not seen in decades. She was born into hardship, which means she carries the kind of resilience that could anchor him. The bond will serve him well in the next life.
Kaylin and Vivienne arrived quickly once word spread. They walked in together to find me sitting at the matriarch's feet, working the tension from her ankles. Kaylin's voice came first, amused, sharp.
This is the female who agreed to bond with my brother?
Whoever's handmaid she is, she has a rare heart. Mother, you must reward her well.
I turned and faced them. Kaylin went very still.
It's me, Alpha Kaylin, Lady Vivience.
You're supposed to be mute.
I can speak. My lady simply prefers I don't.
Vivienne's face turned to chalk.
I didn't know your household contained such a loyal soul, but once this bond is sealed, you'll carry his grief for the rest of your days. Are you certain?
I will never regret it.
The hand hanging at Kaylin's side curled into a fist. He stared at me like I had become something he didn't recognize.
Child, tell me what you want. Silver, land, titles, anything I can grant is yours.
I turned and looked at Vivienne. She held her smile together, but she took half a step back. After a long pause, I dropped my eyes.
I have a younger sister, Briar. I asked that she be transferred to your personal household matriarch.
She's already part of this pack. I'll see to her for the rest of her life.
Vivienne's smile pulled thin.
Mother, Briar came with my dowry pack. She's my bonded household. I'd hate to be ungenerous, but...
She's a handmaid. Mother wants her. Give her over.
Kaylin's voice cut across hers, flat and final. The matriarch's expression had gone stone cold.
Bring the bond papers.
I will find Briar a secure place before I pass. You don't have to worry about her ever again.
I hadn't expected the matriarch to think about her entire future. Moved beyond words.
Thank you, matriarch. I promise to care for Lucien with everything I have.
When the matriarch spoke of her eldest son, she couldn't stop the break in her voice.
I was pregnant with Lucien during the Dark Coven War. The fear marked him at birth. He came into the world without breath, without a wolf spirit.
His father had returned victorious that same night, and brought someone with him from the deep forest, a shaman. The shaman's methods were outside anything the pack had seen. He brought Lucien back from the edge of nothing. It should have been a miracle, but the shaman warned them. Pulling a spirit back across that threshold was a transgression against the laws of wolf and moon. Lucien could live, but only for 30 years, no more. And so it had been. Lucien had grown up slight, unable to shift into warrior form, but razor sharp in mind, a natural strategist, a scholar. He'd won council honors young, but the older he got, the weaker his body became. Eventually, he stopped leaving his territory altogether, retreating to a lakeside cabin at the edge of the pack mansion. Since I had agreed to the spirit bond, I was to remain at his side. Word was that he didn't allow anyone to serve him, just the shaman, who had stayed all these years. The shaman brought me into the cabin while Lucien was asleep. I looked at his face. His lashes trembled faintly with each shallow breath. He was 2 years older than Kaylin, 27. The brothers looked nothing alike. Kaylin was bronze and hard-edged from years of combat training. Lucien was fine-boned, pale as snow, almost startlingly beautiful in a way that made you forget to breathe. I spent the afternoon learning his preferences. When the sun touched the horizon, Lucien finally woke. It was time for his medicine. I'd spent the afternoon...
I don't even slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that, spitting slow, spitting fast, I could roast, I could gas, think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past and the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness, hilarious, you think you're with my time, you're delirious, mysterious, because you are behind a fake exterior, inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior, get off of me, this ain't no humble breath.
Authority now. Either you drink this, or...
Or what?
The shaman had told me Lucian had refused medicine for 6 months. That was why he was hovering at the edge of nothing. At this rate, he wouldn't survive to spring. When I looked at him again, vivid color had bloomed across his face, like dawn breaking over frost. Those butterfly wing lashes were trembling. With outrage, I thought, distantly, of every arrogant she-wolf Kaelin had ever teased into furious, helpless blushing. Lucian's expression was painfully similar. A prick of guilt moved through me. I forced my own pulse to slow, keeping my voice steady. If you won't drink, I'll be forced to do that again.
Alpha Hair, your color has improved over these past few days. Your skin isn't as cold as it was. That's the medicine working.
Medicine is useless.
The shaman works hard to brew it. If you pour it out every time, he'll be heartbroken. Watch. Testing the temperature alone takes constant checking to preserve the potency. I've only been doing it a few days and my hands already look like this.
He pressed his lips together, said nothing, and drank the rest of the bowl without being asked. After that, he never made me beg him to drink his medicine again. Half a month later, the shaman gave the matriarch his report. Lucian had genuinely improved, no longer at death's edge.
Could it be a final surge before the end?
No, it's real healing. This one is responsible. I told you before, her wolf spirit signature is a natural complement to his. She steadies him.
The matriarch looked satisfied. When she turned to me, her eyes were almost tender.
How has Selena been caring for you?
She's been taking very good care of me.
Alpha Lucian may not know, but when Selena was serving in my household, her skill at attending to Kaelin was quite exceptional as well. Such a good servant.
The air went lake wind, unsteadying. I went back to get his cloak.
Is it you? Was it always you? Answer me. You think you can play mute with me again? Silence won't save you.
I don't need your voice to confirm it. One night, and I'd know for certain.
Had he lost his mind?
I spent 3 years with a woman, and she's going to be bonded to my brother.
How dare you make fools of us both? Especially me! Would a rank at my side really be worse than grieving a dead man forever? Do you actually want to bond with a corpse?
I just want to survive! If I didn't do this, she'd give me to someone who'd break me. A formal bond, even a broken one, would have made me untouchable.
Useful to no one. Forced to stay her shadow forever.
Before he could recover, I stomped hard on his foot and ran. I was still stumbling when I rounded the corner.
It took you so long.
I smiled, walked over, and settled the cloak around his shoulders. But he simply brushed my hand away. Somehow he lost balance and fell. His chest had a severe bruise.
Just leave me. I am not your burden.
Lucian liked to sit there, open a book in the shade.
Why did you really agree to the spirit bond?
I didn't want to be given to the gatekeeper's son.
I thought it would be something like that.
What is it to guess that it would be like this?
The shaman pressed a small wooden box into my hands.
Should I start calling you Maid of the Alpha?
Please don't.
My future, most likely, was a silent room in a shrine, grieving him in his name until I followed. With the shaman gone, I took on more responsibility, including helping Lucian bathe. I watched his ears and tried not to smile. Had no one ever helped him bathe? Kaelin had always kept half a dozen female attendants for bathing. A younger version of me would have died of the blush alone, but I wasn't that innocent girl anymore. There was a phrase I'd found in one of his books, a broken moon, a she-wolf who'd been claimed and discarded. The text said that's what I was.
What strange things are you reading now?
I tucked it behind my back. I'd memorized a passage and presented it to him like a prize.
Look at you. Impressive.
You sound like you're humoring a child.
How old are you?
18.
I have almost a decade on you. To me, you are a child.
The shaman had introduced new compounds, performed old rituals at the edge of firelight, burned offerings, and whispered things I didn't catch.
Speak a wish.
You do it.
I want you to be happy.
What does that look like?
Your body heals. You find a mate who deserves you. A pack of your own. A life that finally goes the way it should have.
Do you mean that?
Our eyes met. I looked away. Did I mean it? It didn't matter. What mattered was, the shaman's ritual apparently worked, because Lucian decided he wanted to leave the cabin. I asked him where he wanted to go. He studied me for a long moment. There's a moon festival gathering tonight. I've heard the town lights the whole river. Festival fires were always burning. Nothing special. But since coming into Vivienne's household, I hadn't been to a single one. The longing had been sitting quietly in me for years. That night, a young noblewoman arrived with her escort.
They said, used to getting everything she reached for.
In the river of lantern light and moving bodies, she found Lucien in seconds.
Loser buys dinner at the finest inn in the city. What do you say?
And she walked straight up and challenged him to a game of darts. I've forgotten who won. I only remember the brightness in her eyes. Lucien turned to look at me.
If you'd like to go, I'll wait outside.
I hadn't behaved like a servant in front of him in a long time, but there were others watching. She didn't wait. She stepped around me cheerfully and reached for Lucien's chair. I watched them move into the crowd, and I felt something leave me that I hadn't known was mine to lose. I stood in the cold for a very long time. Then I remembered. Today was my birthday. She was the regent's only daughter. Every door in the wolf world was open to her. When the regent and his mate arrived at the Pack Mansion to formally propose the match, the matriarch looked more shaken than pleased. Through Briar, I learned the truth. It wasn't love at first sight. She'd fallen for Lucian over a decade ago, back when he was a young scholar with fire in his eyes and a future everyone could see. She'd been carrying it ever since, refusing every other offer. Lucian's potential mating became the Pack's entire focus. Even the news that Kaelin's quartermate had conceived was forgotten. If the match succeeded, the matriarch would have been overjoyed. But Lucian was already bound by the spirit bond. To take a living mate, the bond had to be dissolved. And so I knew exactly what I had to do. Just as I'd once knelt before the matriarch and volunteered, I came before her again.
I'm willing to step aside. I want Lucien to have this.
I'd had the shaman check their spirit signatures as well. They aligned perfectly. She was born to rank, polished in every art, and her love for Lucian had outlasted years of silence. If he died, she would grieve him faithfully. There was nothing more I could offer that she couldn't match.
So, what do you want in return? Money? Is it still about status?
The matriarch squeezed my hands and asked what I wanted in return. I pressed the gold I'd saved over 2 years into her palm.
I ask to be released from the Pack's bond records. I want to be a free wolf.
Child, you could ask me for so much more.
I held the bow and didn't move. Tears fell, one by one, onto the stone.
Take me with you, okay?
Outside the Pack Paoshin, life was uncertain and hard. Inside, with the matriarch's protection, you would be safe. Stay, serve well, don't make enemies. The rest would come.
Briar wept and pressed gold into my hands anyway. On the morning I left, many of the other handmaids came to see me off. The shaman also walked towards me in the crowd.
May your ancestors guide your path.
Patted my shoulder, and then walked towards the crowd. I turned around and walked towards the door, but in the crowd I saw Karen also there. Kalen grabbed me to the corner. He caged me against the wall and looked at me like he wanted to devour me.
Say the word and I'll take you as a formal mate.
Serve me like you used to, and I'll give you rank above the others.
I stared at him for a long time.
Don't look at me like that. What? You think Lucian's gonna come running after you? You're deluding yourself. He's probably not even thinking of you. Once his body improved, he didn't need you anymore. You were useful and now you're spare. And don't expect him to remember you in a year. He didn't even come to see you off. That tells you exactly where you rank to him.
Something in my chest seized. The truth was, Lucian and I had been in a cold war for weeks. It had started on the way home from the festival.
If I was happy.
Yes.
The warmth vanished from Lucian's face.
Happy about the fireworks?
No. Watching you walk with her, you look like you belong together. My wish is starting to work. That made me happy.
You see me with another female and that's what makes you happy?
She's extraordinary. She might become the Pack's future First Luna. Of course I'm happy.
Selena. I didn't know you could be so heartless.
My parents had died years ago in the household where I was born into service. I had no home to return to. I'd planned to head south, find a city where no one knew my name. But the second Kalen's and Vivian's faces floated up behind my eyes, I was on my feet, booking passage on the first river ferry south before I'd finished the thought.
Property deeds. Golds, a house, a plot of land, somewhere in the south. I tried to remember when the shaman had touched my bag.
He'd had his hands on it during the send-off, but where had he gotten this? The ferry listed suddenly. I nearly went over the rail. I scrambled upright and found boots surrounding me on 3 sides. Then I was bound, carried ashore, and pushed into a carriage. When the blindfold came down, Vivian, smiling. I couldn't stop the bitter laugh from escaping. Briar had been right. For all the years I'd served her, and this was still where we ended up. They brought out women with strong hands to deal with me. The blows were professional and thorough. She'd grown thinner since I last saw her. The delicate elegance that had once made her untouchable now just made her look breakable. What it didn't do was protect her inside the pack.
I used your body as a convenience, and you had the nerve to find your own way out. Ungrateful. Traitorous. Have you forgotten what you swore? Loyal service. Always.
Loyal service. She wasn't wrong. But loyalty is a two-way bond, and she had never honored her half. Waited for the anger to burn out so I could leave. I overestimated her capacity for mercy. The first day, only the hitting.
Look at me.
The second day, she used silver-tipped needles on my hands. The third day, she locked me in the holding den beneath the estate. I found my parents' remains there. For a moment, just one, I genuinely wanted to stop fighting. The young guard outside pulled me up before I could follow the thought all the way.
Elena, come back, please! You saved me!
Do I know you?
Years ago, a bracelet went missing in the ladies' rooms. They were going to use me as the culprit. You figured out who really took it, and you bought me enough time to prove it. I kept all my fingers because of you. You're one of the kindest people I've ever known. Why is she doing this to you?
Because I wasn't loyal enough. What's happening at the Pack Mansion? The alpha-haired. Is he truly going to bond with the Regent's daughter?
The matriarch is frantic. The whole bonding is off. The Regent's family pulled their daughter out the night his wolf spirit nearly went dark completely.
She agreed to cancel it?
She's never been this close to real death before. They say she ran. Celine, please stop thinking about them. Think about yourself. You have to survive long enough to be rescued. Will you let me help you?
Please help me bury my parents.
Is there anything else I can do for you after that?
I need you to find a small wooden box. You buried my parents. I'll carry that gratitude into whatever comes next.
On the 5th evening, Vivian returned. She examined her nails, as if nothing else mattered. I could barely hold my head up.
You're still alive. Heaven must want you to suffer longer. Begging me to stop? Don't bother.
I wasn't begging. I was cursing her, quietly, steadily. The rope around my neck tightened. I let out a slow breath. Finally, a clean ending. It pulled taut, tighter, until the air was gone. Then it went slack. A second cruelty? Another method? Noise poured in from every direction. Someone was calling my name. Someone was in the water.
Selena! Selena!
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please don't leave me.
I was lifted, carried, fast, too fast, and then I hit a cold chest and stayed there. Whoever held me dropped to their knees, their arms locked around me like I might disappear.
Lucian, where are you?
I am here. I am here. I thought I had lost you. Celine, I'm so sorry. I should have found you sooner.
Lucian brought me back to the lakeside cabin. The shaman had prepared a medicinal bath, something old, something meant for deep wounds. Lucian washed me himself. Every new injury he found made the skin around his eyes darken, deeper, redder. In the blur between waking and sleep, I felt like I was drifting, held up by careful hands in warm water, rocking gently. The last thing I remembered was a soft bed rising up to catch me, and my arms closing around it. I slept for a very long time.
Where's Lucian?
He kept watch over you for days. I added something to his tea. He's out.
Is he having an episode? His wolf spirit?
He's been destroying himself since you left. His wolf didn't want to be steady. I couldn't do much. You were the only person keeping him anchored. That was never me. Don't cry. He's alive, and he won't die before 30. I made sure of that much.
What happens at 30? Does the bond snap?
He was always going to die early. You know this. If he weren't fated for early death, you two would never have found each other.
I sat very still. Something inside me was splitting apart. Lucian woke to find me staring into nothing.
What's wrong?
His voice came out rough with sleep. I wiped my face, said nothing. My fingers rested against his throat, feeling his pulse.
I'm going to kiss you. Say yes or no.
You were a lot less polite the first time.
His mouth was cold, and his breath against mine was like a thread of warmth in a blizzard, brief and so easy to lose.
Lucian, I love you.
I love you too.
I never expected to fall in love with someone within such short life.
Neither did I.
Then the shaman came back. He returned 3 nights later, moving with purpose, and sat across from us.
I've been doing a great deal of thinking.
That's usually ominous.
The curse on you, the life debt your father made with the witch clan, it was sealed with sacrifice. Specifically, the sacrifice of a wolf spirit. Sacrifice can be answered with sacrifice. Or with something equal and opposite. A bond freely chosen.
A mating bond. A true one. Not a spirit bond with a corpse. A living, breathing, voluntary mating bond. Freely given, both sides willing, under the full moon.
If the bond takes hold, the original sacrifice is fulfilled differently. Life for life. But instead of taking, it gives. The curse breaks.
Has this worked before?
I believe it will.
Yes.
The next few days passed in controlled chaos. The matriarch convened a pack circle. Vivian's crimes had not gone unnoticed. The poisoning of Kaylin's quartermate and the unborn pup had been confirmed. By pack law, that was grounds for exile. Vivian was removed, quietly, finally. The regent's daughter came to the cabin one more time.
He told me at the festival, you know? The night we went to dinner.
What to say?
He talked about you for 3 hours straight without realizing it.
I'm sorry I was slow to understand.
Her expression unreadable. I didn't know what to say. She stepped forward and squeezed my hand once.
Don't let him die.
Then she was gone. Kaelin came to the cabin the night before the ritual. He stood in the doorway, and for the first time in the years I'd known him, he looked genuinely lost.
My brother. He's going to be all right?
The shaman believes so.
I never saw you. Do you know? For 3 years, I've actually never given you a proper look. For whatever it's worth, I'm sorry.
I thought about everything I could say. What I said was,
take care of yourself, Kaelin.
He nodded, turned, walked away. It wasn't forgiveness. Not yet. But it was a beginning. The full moon rose over the lake like a white flame. The shaman built the circle at the water's edge. Silver dust, wolf herbs, old fire. Lucian stood at the center. He'd refused the chair tonight. He was standing on his own, in the moonlight, and the sight of him, pale and slight, and stubbornly, impossibly upright, hit me somewhere I didn't have words for. The shaman's voice rose over the water, speaking old words in the witch clan's tongue, the language of the curse that had been turned, tonight, into something else. He looked at me with those moth-wing lashes and that expression that always meant he'd run out of arguments, and was trying not to show how much he felt.
Celine, you don't have to.
I know.
I might still...
I know that too.
And what are you doing?
Choosing.
The shaman's voice peaked. The circle ignited. Not fire exactly. Something older, silver blue, rising from the water's surface. I felt the pull of it in my chest. Not pain, not fear. Something more like recognition. Lucian's hand tightened on mine, and I felt the moment it happened. A snap, deep in the core of me, like a lock giving way. Like something that had been held closed for 30 years finally opening. Lucian made a sound I'd never heard from him before. Not pain, the opposite of pain. He dropped to his knees in the silver circle, and his wolf spirit, which I had never seen, which he had never been able to fully call, tore out of him with a howl that shook the lake. White, enormous, blazing like a comet above the water. He threw his head back and howled again. The sound broke over the forest, over the pack mansion, over every territory for miles, and from far away, from every direction at once, howls began to answer. The shaman wept. I didn't realize it until I saw his shoulders shaking. Lucian's wolf settled around him like a second skin. The color returned to his face. Not the brief flush of fever, but real warmth, steady and permanent. He touched his own hands like he was checking they were real. Then he looked at me, and his eyes, those beautiful, exhausted, fighting to stay open eyes, were the clearest I'd ever seen them.
Selena.
Just my name. The way he said it cracked something open in me. I pressed my face against his chest and stayed there for a long, long time. His heartbeat was strong, steady, warm.
Not borrowed time. Just him.
The matriarch came to the lake the next morning. She took one look at Lucian, standing in the early light, no chair, no shawl, real color in his face, and she sat down on the nearest bench and didn't move for several minutes.
How?
Thanks to Selena, who sacrificed herself willingly. She was a good girl.
The shaman explained what had happened. Then she reached out and drew me to sit beside her, as she'd done before.
What do you want? I once hoped my sister would be safe and that I could be free. But now, all I want is for Lucian to return as leader, safe and happy.
It happened at the next full moon. Briar stood beside me.
It's already more than enough. You have a thread. Right there. Hold. Briar. What?
Thank you.
Lucian was waiting at the lake's edge. He'd learned to stand like he meant it.
May your life together be filled with love, laughter, and happiness.
May your home always be warm and your hearts always full.
I had survived every single thing, and I was here, free, loved, his mate and mine.
Selina, I'm not going to die.